A very good morning, ladies and gentlemen, all the passionate educators, business world, all the dignitaries who have gathered for a mission today. I think we have a very interesting panel. On one hand, you can see the Vice Chair of Bhartiya Group and passionately working towards education and K-12 schools. We have a principal from Amity International School, Dr. Arti, and where we are really looking at very interesting combination of higher education, a seamless integration from K-12 schools to higher education. So I have with me Dean Chef Tharu from Mahindra, so all the way from Hyderabad. And I'm the Vice Chancellor of IILM University, passionately trying to follow and understand how we can implement the best policy, the most exciting times in higher education, with the not just advent of the NEP 2020, but how it has unfolded, how we are looking at India at 100, and how we look at the changing times. I think this whole decade is all about change, right from the time of, we have seen the ed transformation to the era of AI, and to the changing ways that students learn today. So there is on one side technology, there is on the other hand a very fast pace of change which you see the world together. India has become a sort of a place for also having the, as an educational hub. If you see, we are having so many universities, as you see, unfold, where they are setting up campuses in India. So not only are our students and youth going abroad for higher education, but we see India becoming a magnet. So we are definitely in a very changed world. So today in this discussion, that I'm going to have very interesting conversation with all of the esteemed panelists. And my first thing that we are going to do, each one, of course, I request you, Ms. Parushni, that you can give a brief introduction, and I'll ask you a question, and then we follow to next panelist. So I think my first question to you, the Vice Chair, Ms. Parushni, is how can schools differentiate their learning experience to attract and retain students in global education market?
Good morning to everybody here today. My name is Parushni Aggarwal, and I represent Bhartiya Education. Bhartiya Group this is the first time we forayed into education with our first flagship school, which is in Bangalore, is called Chaman Bhartiya. Our school focuses on thought leadership, right? So I will get straight to the question. I think what schools must do today, I come from design background, and design thinking is very close to how we think at Bhartiya. So I think there are a number of points here, but I'd like to start here with the school design for the school building itself. I think our environment impacts our behavior. I think how our students today respond, collaborate, sort of how do they inquire, how do they think, depends on what environment we give them. So I think the school building design plays a very important role today in what we are able to offer our students. Schools today, I think everybody is talking about the 21st century skills, critical thinking, creativity, all of that. But how do you really apply it? We look at our teachers at our school more as facilitators. We're not looking at teachers who come with this thought process of know it all or understand it all. I think teachers are more facilitators. They are coaches, guides, and it is a learning process not just for the students, but the environment becomes a process for learning for teachers. I think the environment has to be sort of cohesive to learning for not just students today. I think most schools, international schools or otherwise, we're looking at collaborations. Recently, we had a very large collaboration with one of the most successful schools in Russia. I think what we're doing there is it's not just exchange for students, it's also exchange for teachers. their teachers are going to come and teach our kids, and our kids are going to go, our teachers are going to go there and teach and learn. So I think it's a continuous process. Apart from this, there's policy makers, there's parent community, which I think also play a very important role.
Great. I think that's a great thought. And I think I want to stay with the word of redesigning because that's the theme of the session. And you spoke about design thinking. And I think everything that we do today is we have that design thinking concept in it. And of course, the learner first approach and having thinking about the student-centric learning modules that are so critical. So with that, I come to Dr. Arti, and we are in this question that I'm going to put across to you is on changing learner needs. In my opening remarks, I spoke about how learners are changing. So how can school leaders redesign programs and schedules to better support working adult and lifelong learners? As in, how do you make your students learn how to learn?
Wonderful to be here. My name is Arti Chopra, and I'm leading one of the Amity school, Amity International School, Gurugram, Sector 46. Amity is a leading institution, and it not only professes quality education, it talks more about value system, the environment that we give to the children so that there could be holistic development and they could be the future leaders. We have aligned our way of thinking, our ideology with Viksit Bharat, and this has been our strategy to make the children as nation lovers, along with having a passion for global citizenship. Coming to the question, how should we redesign our teaching strategy in the classrooms as an education leader? We all have adapted new education policy 2020, new curriculum which has come in 23, very modestly, and we are already taking up a lot of things to make the flexibility as the key feature for students. So it's not only redesigning their timetables, shedding the silos between different subject frames and allowing them to have the flexibility to study physics with accountancy, for example, so that the children could be, having this freedom of thought and expression much required in this millennium, in this 21st century. So I would like to say when we are redesigning their curriculum, we have included short-term courses for them, and so that certain things which are not already part of our curriculum, and we have converted them into certification courses through our LMS platform, Moodle, through which the children can have the freedom to go for higher levels of learning. And then we are definitely following the blended learning approach, because this approach has given us, that's one of the positives, after COVID, that we have the online platform always available, so that to cut down the wasting of time through travel, so that children could be more at ease and flexibility could be taken up in a very big way. The micro-credentials that we are offering to them in the form of short-term courses like quantum computing and having various other things, children which they are really enjoying, is giving them the freedom to have internship possibilities at the higher level with IIT Madras that the school is already doing and IIT Roorkee. So these kind of internship opportunities which through CBSE or at times directly coming from the IITs or other leading institutions and various industries is helping the students to actually acquire the skills that could have them perform in the way that is expected by the board as well, because now our curriculum is competency-based curriculum. We are following the approach of learning outcomes. So the teachers are first planning the learning outcomes that they want the child to achieve, and accordingly the planning for the lessons are done. So therefore, the competency-based curriculum or outcome-based curriculum is taught by integrating a lot of technology-based as well as experiential learning methodologies. The assessment patterns have changed, and we are having 50% of the curriculum being asked in the, in the MCQ form, wherein the child cannot have rote learning. So therefore, as a leader, I feel the timetable as well as integration of scholastic with co-scholastic activities within the curriculum, incorporating life skills and soft skills in the curriculum. These are the things that as leaders, as educationists, we can offer to the children on immediate basis.
Thank you. I think few points that I would like to stay with is, of course, you are looking at the global interconnected world. And so today, the education is also one way to connect across different timelines and time zones. We are looking at a very geopolitically turbulent times, but one thing that ties people and the youth of the world together is education. The other thing that I'm really happy about that what you spoke, which is actually preparing the students for their higher education, is also being not doing programs alone on Moodle, because they are anyway very quick. Students are very good with technology, but the micro credentials that you mentioned, that is making them ready to take up the challenge. Because if you see the higher education platform today, students right from the time they come in, they are going to almost design their own degrees. They are going to choose what they want to do, at the same time be relevant. So I think shaping the minds in school education becomes very critical. And from the point that you said that how the NEP is being implemented, and I think it's across India. I had the pleasure of interacting with so many principals and K-12 schools and chairperson. I have seen that there is a need for that connect. So I think that is really coming out from both the speakers, that I could hear that what school education is doing. So now I'm moving to the Dean of School of Hospitality, Mahindra University, Chef Thiru. And also you're in a school which is hospitality, which needs almost out of the credits that the students do. If there are those 4-year degree program that they're doing, there is so much of practical component, experiential learning, work, actually that they learn, whether it is actually working in the real-time space within your own setup in labs, or when they're going abroad, going to the institutions or the hotels that they're working on. So the specific question that I have in mind is, what role should schools play in validating and integrating micro-credentials or skill-based learning to traditional programs?
Morning everyone, I'm Chef Thiru, Dean School of Hospitality Management. I represent Mahindra University. We are a young university, 5+ years. Our Chancellor is Mr. Anand Mahindra. We have currently 7 schools. We are located in Hyderabad. And the 7th school which recently started, the School of Hospitality Management, we have close to 7,000+ students, putting all 7 schools together. Now, thank you for the opportunity, the BW organizer, for bringing all the eminent academicians and researchers under one roof to discuss and deliberate on what's happening in academia. Right. To answer your question, ma'am, that in the over a decade so, that lots of changes have been brought into Indian academia, whether in the school or higher education. I think, we talk about young population, that we can say that India is the only country which parents are sponsoring higher education, where the rest of the world that, depends on the family. But in that way, that parents have first dream for the kids to achieve what they want in life. Right. Now, how are we going to capture the right talent to respective university and the schools? To talk about integrating micro-credential or integrating short program, I will just give you an example. The first, it starts from the curriculum. As Madam spoke about design thinking, it's all about how do you design curriculum, right? And most of us, we have our standard operating process that when we roll out any program, we follow the, whoever is the body, governing body, whether it's UGC or AICT. But what we do normally in Mahindra University, when we rolled out BBA, Hospitality Management Education Program, we did a curriculum conclave. The syllabus which took 6 months to prepare, but however you do by, when you complete, there are certain things which are not going to exist. So how do we did? We did a curriculum conclave. So we identified eminent professionals who are experts in each domain. But when we talk about hospitality, we talk about 4 core areas: production, housekeeping, F&B, and front office. So we invited the current practicing, the eminent people from industry. Then also the people who are expert, which spend lots of, let's say about 10 or 15 years in that particular domain. And also getting researchers. So we discussed and deliberated. So ideally, in previous my organization, what I did when I did a curriculum conclave, I've identified, the final year students and also the junior faculty and the senior faculty. I've divided in them 3 batches. So they asked the 4th year students, the 4th year BHM students, if your juniors have to learn next 5 years, what would you suggest to learn, right? So I've given them the template that what need to be covered in first semester, second semester, how much credit it has to be given. And also faculty I've divided senior and junior, right? So what I learned from that, the amazing ideas have come. Besides getting the experts, before that, you need to do this, asking students, because they have gone through 3 years of, that particular course structure, and they got their hands dirty when they did internship. So they're the better people to understand that what next 5 years juniors have to learn. And then senior and junior faculty, always, there'll be a little bit of, openness, depends upon the group cohesiveness, right? Otherwise, the seniors will try to, dominate, or juniors will try to dominate. So better to divide them. And then when we did this exercise for almost 2.5 months, I got a very beautiful course structure. Then I have sent to all the experts, and then those experts came and spent time 2 days in our campus. Finally, we have, decided what curriculum we are going to offer. So that's one which what I practically did, I've experienced. The outcome was very good.
Thank you. Like any world-renowned chef, you have laid a beautiful colors on the table, and I like the way how you have described. So I think one of the points which I loved the most is that how you not just have the design or the process or the overall syllabus, but how you actually created a curriculum, conclave, and you had minds, the best minds come in to create the right kind of pedagogy. So I think that's something which is very essential. If you look at even the implementation of the policy through NEP, even in higher education, you will see that there is a need. It is an eclectic approach, so you cannot have one size fits all. So to identify fast learners, slow learners, identify how you can use different languages to train people, have an inclusive environment, the diverse India that we talk about. So this is becoming very pertinent in higher education. And also in this point, I would like to add that one of the things that I'm seeing young learners struggle with today is also the not technology, but the agony across that they have faced. Many of them are, they have faced COVID, they have faced the wars, they have faced the border insecurities. There is a turbulent times that we see. We have never seen gold prices go up. So it is a very different world. So there is a lot of anxiety that the students are facing today. So there is also a requirement for good support for their overall behavioral and mental health support in schools and in higher education. So try to see how we can have resilient learners for future. So that takes me to back to you. Um, So my next question to you on this account is, Ms. Parushni, is that what roles could schools play in validating and integrating these micro-credentials that we have been talking about, or skill-based learning in traditional programs? What I want to also emphasize by saying that how they become an enabler and not just one more course that the student does. So for example, if a student is doing a course on, say, analytics, and if they take up a micro-credential, which may be offered by an ed-tech company, for example, say SAS, so does that really enable the student better, competent, learners?
So, I'd like to start by saying, it's nice to walk in to see a robot here. We're living in the world of AIs, and we're living where everybody is talking about skill building, right? So as a school at Chaman Bhartiya, we believe strongly in these micro-credentials. We believe these are not just add-ons, but they are going to be real skills for the real world. We do not just build in, believe in competent knowledge, but actually sort of working with that knowledge in the real world, right? And which is why these skills are important. As we offer today, imagine a world where your students could sort of, while doing a particular curriculum, have the flexibility to be able to take an AI course from somebody who's sitting in Silicon Valley, to learn about design thinking from somebody in Scandinavia. I think the need of the hour is to not just limit ourselves to curriculums, limit ourselves to education curriculums that were built hundreds of years ago, where lives were simpler, right? We live in a very evolving world and a very changing world. And I think it's very important for us to focus on some of these skills and micro-credentials that our students must learn. It's skills like design thinking. Dr. Arti spoke about how somebody is sort of studying physics and may also want to do accountancy. Somebody may be studying economics, but may want to sort of look at digital marketing, because that, if they're going to get into business, then digital marketing today is a very important part. How as a school we're supporting this is we're a part of a much larger ecosystem. At Bhartiya, we've got a number of businesses, and I think we offer our students internship opportunities in different businesses. So if they're learning some particular skill, we invite them to sort of apply those skills, right? So also to prepare them for real world. Most schools are able to do this today, and I think this focus will take the children a long way. So it's not just curriculum-based learning, but the flexibility of micro-credentials, modular learning, so children can learn skills that can make them future ready, right? So that's the need of the hour.
I think very essential. You touched upon something which is so essential that, you are sensitizing them, equipping them with the future skills. So I think it's extremely important. While the policy that has been laid out through NEP is, of course, very flexible, it is very inclusive as well, and it is taking care of these different pathways that the students can choose. And to give a context, even in higher education, like when the students come from school, they are already ready to jump into another area where they can be creative. So I think we are looking at a very, I would say, a disruptive world. So when we say the future of skills as well, I think what became the fundamental skills today, like soft skills, now with AI, that has become also the new fundamental skills that people need to learn. And it's also going to change and disrupt the job market. It's going to change the way we think. It's going to change the way the decisions are made. It's the way the reports are being done. So that is so essential, that is important that to understand and equip students with those skills so that they can learn another new method or a methodology. So that takes me to Dr. Arti, if you could then say that looking at all of this that we are discussing today, that what kind of partnerships are you really emphasizing on, or are you in your school, or are you looking at some collaborations, be it national, international collaborations, partnership? That is also going to be a great ecosystem for learning for students. And I want to add a twist to it and say that how are you also training your teachers who are educators, good educators, but are they really getting the opportunity to get trained?
Thank you. Very nice question. Yeah, so how are we preparing the students for the future that probably you and I have not seen? What kind of skill sets we need to develop in them so that they could be future leaders? What kind of integrations in the curriculum, in their attitudes, in the way they think, we are trying to enhance. So all this goes at Amity hand in hand with our value system, as I said, and the pedagogy which is adopted within the curriculum. It is not only the curriculum which is taught through the books, but there is a whole lot of other things that go with it. For example, it's not only that the students learn how to think, how to attempt on paper, how to find solutions, but also how to have a harmony between the head, the heart, and the hand. So it is the behavior which is looked at continuously. What kind of routine the children should follow, and how this routine is going to help them have a better outlook, providing them, trainings to have mindfulness exercises, yoga, as well as thinking in the right manner, problem-solving techniques are taught to the children through the way the teachers teach them. Social emotional learning is given a lot of importance because as more and more of gadgets have come into their life, similarly, the teacher's importance should not go down, and children do realize it. So there is a harmony between the time they spend with the gadgets and the time they spend with the teachers and with the parents. So all stakeholders, including alumni, the community people, as well as the parents, come forward along with the teachers and the school head and management to make the life easier for the children and provide them the guided support. As far as their liaison with the schools in countries abroad is concerned, we in Amity have a number of structured programs like all international Model United Nations is one of those programs wherein we call students from across the world. And recently we had this program wherein we had children, about 600 of them, from all over the country and abroad. There were 25 countries that were represented. So when the children have this platform where they get to exchange over a period of 3 to 4 days, and they share their ideas, they deliberate on issues of national and international importance, there is a lot of learning. Another example is that we do have student exchange programs with many countries of the world. Not only a simple exchange where they get to learn, but the exchange where they get to perform and present their projects to the people who are in the other part of the world. There are a lot of exchanges which are being done online, which is much easier also for the children. As I said, it is compulsory for every child in 11 to have online or real-time internship exposure from industry. So academia and industry are holding hands, and this is helping. In fact, our board, CBSE board, is also providing a lot of opportunities to the children wherein they can go in for higher levels of modules which they could learn and finish within a certain stipulated time, add to their credits, wherein these credits can match the international levels. We prepare the students right from grade 4 and 5 to go in for advanced levels of learning through a program called Sync Connect program, wherein the scientific way of thinking is taught to the children by introduction of certain modules in mathematics and science. So whether they go in for science in the higher levels, but their way, their attitude towards life their approach is more rational and scientific. So the behavior, the competencies, as well as their attitudes are worked upon, which helps them to have a better understanding of the world. MUN was one example. We have many such programs. We have a newspaper which the children write themselves called Global Times newspaper, which goes to 28 schools, India and abroad, in Amity itself. So when the children have the freedom to express themselves in words, their thoughts are allowed to be published and they get the kind of recognition which they're looking for. Many of our students are writing research papers as well through the guidance given by the teachers. So through all these experiences, we are able to give them the exposure which they require for global citizenship, which is much required in today's world.
Wonderful. I think the emphasis on this partnerships also help in, creating a very collaborative environment, which India, it is so much needed. I would like to add by saying that two other things that would be very essential. One is, of course, creating the startup ecosystem right in schools. I know you have, most of the schools today are doing it through Atal incubators and startup ecosystem, because today if you see the startups that are being done in India, which is really increased post-COVID world, there has been large surge of startup companies that have come in. So I think it starts very early. So that is one area. So for that, one of the things which is very essential is bringing the industry to even the K-12 higher, I mean, at least not the senior section schools where they get that exposure, where one need not wait till the college to get into the industry exposure. So I think that there's a lot of hands-on learning that is happening. So I think it's really going well, the way the vision is today of India at 100, the Viksit Bharat. I think we are really looking at a world where a seamless integration between the schools and universities can create the best, I would say professionals and even self-employed youth of our country, of which we boast so much about the democratic dividend, but it is so much needed that they get a lot of training. So that brings me to you that in either your university or collectively, because we as Vice Chancellors, we meet across different universities, different campuses, we are looking at aspects like, one data, one nation, where, already the public sector universities are getting the journal and all kinds of intellectual support. So similarly, in the higher education space, when you're designing programs, what do you think is really helping these learners, one, to become lifelong learners? Second is it's a continuous process of creating a better niche in their own area. So any kind of programs or designing processes for the kind of program that you're offering at your university.
Thank you for asking this question, ma'am. Besides running a core program, we also want to be a destination for reskilling and upskilling, especially in hospitality industry. For example, what are the best practices we do ever since we started about a year back? We have a capstone project, kind of boot camp. For example, in hospitality, we believe always, real-time experience, whether it's a restaurant or it's a guest contacts or guest touch point. So what we do, I'll just give an example of 3 months back on World Entrepreneurship Day. I've called the management students and design students and the engineering students. So we gave them a small capstone, a boot camp kind of thing, that we are going to put the food stalls. What is that which you can do as a management student, right? So they started taking survey that, within about 6-7 hours as activity, what kind of, what is affordability, what is lacking, their, taste, understanding their taste hierarchy. So involving other, we talk about collaborative learning, right? It's not in only hospitality students, they work within themselves. So we did that activity which got a good result. The design students created a nice, beautiful food parcel containers, and then the marketing team designed a digital brochure, and then one of the management team which did on the P&L statement. Now, our tagline is entrepreneurship and leadership. How do we integrate within our ecosystem, leveraging other schools' area of expertise, where involving the students to work as a collaborative learning, number one. Number two, when we talk about reskilling, upskilling of working professionals, we are coming out with lots of international collaborations, like we have recently signed with Italian Culinary School, where their chefs are going to come and take special Italian cuisine for working professional as well as our students or the food enthusiasts. So basically here I'm here to submit, leverage the constituent colleges or schools within university or within the school program. How do you do the capstone project, like a small boot camp, giving them a prerequisite and putting the learning measurable indicators, what is it we need to achieve, how the synergy can be developed.
Great, I think that's a great one. These boot camps and these hackathons are the way forward, and the real problems that the industry faces, the students are able to do. You know, one of the things that I feel that we need to discuss in this panel is also about the issues that we face in terms of some challenges that we see. Those challenges could be opportunities primarily. For example, we are talking about great pedagogy, great design, but do we still have the old mindset of traditional pathways of teacher taught, or are we looking at teams working together, use of technology? So now I'm going to go to each of the panelists, and each one of you can share how do you envision. One could be any one challenge that you think you would like to solve. The second, how you think technology is being really integrated. Are you really integrating AI in the true sense? So I can start from.
I think that's a very important discussion, and I'm glad you brought it up. You know, we live in a world where, in India specifically, with the new education policy coming in and a lot of schools adopting it, but I think a lot of schools still don't have the clarity. I think what we really need to focus on right now is teacher training. I think it's, one of the directors at our school is Alan Anderson. He comes from Copenhagen, and he very interestingly puts it. He says, teachers talk less, students do more, right? I think it's very important that we invest into our teachers, into our educators, and there is a mind shift that is required, right? And the mind shift will come if our teachers work as guides, as collaborators, and not just as traditional teachers that we sort of grew up with, 15, 20, 30 years ago. So I think that is something where we really need to invest. And you mentioned AI. You're right, a lot of schools are setting up AI labs and looking at AI, but is AI really becoming a part of the curriculum? AI, a lot of people are also sort of deliberating if AI is good for students or if students are going to take advantage of, chatbots and things like ChatGPT. I think that cannot be stopped. I think that cannot change. Students have access to the internet. These days, students are smarter than the teachers themselves. And I think what we need to do is offer structure. We need to offer guidelines, and we need to sort of, if somebody is going to write an essay with the help of ChatGPT, then we may, as well ask that student, what is your opinion on this? What is your thought on this topic, right? Rather than sort of telling them that, because the more we ask them not to use something, I think the more we're sort of going to tell them to use it. Yeah, for me, I think we have to use this to our advantage.
I think it's a wonderful point which you brought in about teacher education. So I think when we look at implementing the newness of the policy, I think that is one of the areas. So with you also, Dr. Arti, that one challenge that you face and any of the nuances that you adopt to make technology a integral part of the delivery, including AI.
Right, thank you. Yes, so as far as our school is concerned, you see, there are a lot of challenges because we are a very innovation-driven school. So the biggest challenge is when we want to raise the level of innovation, the thought process that the children have, how to take it ahead, because we do have children who are creating their own, making their own patents, they have copyrights. I have about 18 of them already in the last 3 years. And then this biggest challenge that we have is countered because we are blessed to have our own universities ready to hold hands and help us. Amity University, Haryana, Amity University, Noida, so our whole pattern, the structure is designed in such a way, the schools, the preschools and the universities all hold hands. So all the problems related to raising the level of children are sorted immediately. But apart from this, there are challenges that come in from the parent side who are not ready to accept the new careers that the children want to take up, because there might be parents who are who have been IITians themselves or those who were civil servants, and if the children want to take up a very, very new career, like to take up say a guitar or drumming as one of the chief professions, there are parents who are not comfortable with this. So we have a system of having career counseling, which is done twice, thrice during the year, wherein the parents themselves also offer themselves as speakers along with their alumni. So our alumni support is extremely helpful. So when the alumni come and address the parents and the children, they are able to understand the problems that they face when they were in their advanced years and how the school supported, and therefore new challenging careers are embraced little more readily now because of our intervention. As far as technology integration is concerned, we started the integration from top and went right down till the students. So I myself got integrated, I integrated and learned a lot about technology by incorporating Microsoft and Adobe programs. So therefore, all our teachers who are now experts, and they are Microsoft innovative experts and Adobe experts, they know how to use technology. We took up artificial intelligence as a whole school project this year, and right from grade 5 upwards, the children were asked to come up with new innovations after they were taught basics about AI. AI is taught through the classrooms right from grade 9 upwards, and design thinking starts from grade 6 upwards. We have financial literacy also introduced in school from the middle years, and vocational training is given to the children. So there is a harmony between usage of technology and the usage of hands through the vocational training. So technology is not taking a back seat, rather technology is embraced readily, but it is done in segmented forms. Teachers themselves, being highly trained, encourage students to use technology in the classrooms, and there is time given to them when they learn how to digitally detox themselves. So we have a program called 2 Hours Detox every day that the families have themselves come forward and offered. So through these parenting sessions that I keep taking, and there's a mutual consensus, we do have digital detox as well, so that the children do not go too much into their gadgets. So this harmony we are trying to maintain.
Great.
Thank you.
I think it's a great thought, and with all of the audience, you may also think about any question. I'm going to come to you. One of the thoughts that I have in mind, especially for school children, if you look at AI, even literature and comprehension is so important, because what does prompt engineering really do? Prompt engineering is all about asking the right questions, right? So I think we need to, at the school level, really create prompt engineering as part of their learning process. So it starts from their, doing comprehension and essay tests and asking right questions. Because, it always, the prompts that you give gets you the best kind of answers that you want from any of the chat GPTs that we have today. Same thing, I would also say that while on one hand we are talking about technology, on the other hand, I think one of the things that also the curriculum and the policy talks about is also the sports and their extra co-curricular activities, which are so essential to shape the minds of the children. So I think that also helps them to have a lot of contribution that they can have in their own mental agility. So with that, I want to come to you at the university say for example, at the IILM University where I'm the Vice Chancellor, we created a corporate readiness program tailor-made from students right from the time they enter, and when they are graduating, they know what are the kind of readiness skills that they require. Similarly, every university is toying with some of the challenges that you face today. So if you could particularly talk about any challenge which you have in mind, and what are the other kinds of any innovative things that you would like to put on to us today that is going to become helpful across India?
To answer your question, the first and foremost, and I am talking in terms of hospitality perspective. In hospitality, we believe 60% human touch, 40% technology, right? And you as a guest, you need human touch, we need to have that kind of service. But technology integration is very much essential in all our operations. Seamless guest experience, right? The moment you step out from airport, you can log in and you can put the food preference and you can say that what kind of view you want and everything. So that's bringing an experience. And about to promoting cuisines, right? What kind of F&B space we have, profiling chefs or doing something related to beverage, what kind of bartending we do. So as an academic space, very much it's important that to integrate all that with the specific domain, with all the operation area. So we do have various softwares and to students to learn whether it is all about talking about revenue management or F&B analytics or guest data, everything we do have integrated within that. And to answer next your question, challenges, we do need to have a quality teachers, right? Now today teaching is not just taking it because every information is available. And how do you create an classroom experience? That's important. So most of us show beautiful building, beautiful lab, but I always ask my faculty, please record your class 2 minutes and let it go viral, that what you're talking about the subject and what's the student's interaction, right? So bringing today, Bloom's taxonomy theory has to be aligned with individual domain. It need to revisit, right? If I'm teaching hospitality, within that micro learning, we're talking about production, food production, I need to revisit that how I'm going to create an experience over 45 minutes. Irrespective of your experience, today when you walk into the classroom, the moment of truth is students will decide 30 seconds whether we are prepared for the topic or not. So that's the way of technology is taking place. So we need a quality teacher. More than teaching, today 50% is mentoring, right? Students, every individuals are very important. Every student, when they leave our portal, they should be achieving their dream goal. So 50% teaching, 50% mentoring. So we need a quality teachers.
Well, I think we had some very interesting discussions. I think we are almost concluding with the thought that we are in a progressive world. We are looking at the brighter India, Viksit Bharat 2047. We are going to look at India becoming a capital of higher education and school education. So I think in a very big way we are going to lead. But with that, one of the things that I really want to give an input is about capacity building. So when we talk about capacity building, on one hand, it is definitely IT, infrastructure, structure, all of that. But beyond that, it is about the minds of the people. So I think one of the things that we discussed today is also how to sharpen the mind of the younger people whom we are mentoring. At the same time, having the right kind of ecosystem through the school structure and processes. In the universities, having a sentient community, so where you break the walls across different types of programs and have one seamless connect across different areas. And finally, we have the government, which is really supporting us with the kind of policy that we are going to implement. And I really appreciate this whole session, which is very thoughtfully designed by the business world education, I think it is really need of the hour. So we have a few minutes, and on that I just also thought of adding that there are now wonderful platforms available. Like if you look at a lot of educational platforms available, of course, even you have school connect programs from universities that we offer that kind of career counseling. So what happens right from the beginning, the students are much more aware. And I see now students are very precocious, they know what they want to do. But at the same time, you're right, we need to give them that exposure. But thank you very much, great audience, and all of us, I had a great time. Thank you.